For TV, my name is Ram Aguko. This is Y254 News Updates. It is Business Tuesday and it's all about matters business. But before we enter into the bulletin for tonight, we at Y254 are starting the bulletin on a sad note as we mourn together with South Africa. But we have received report yesterday of the First Lady, that is Winnie Mandela, who died yesterday at the age of 81. She was one of the few remaining representatives of the generation of activists who led the fight against apartheid in South Africa. We send our condolences before we continue with the bulletin. We are together with South Africa. Now, as we continue the bulletin tonight, we have a question topic of the day. We are talking about financial intelligence, and tonight it's all about savings, investment, starting a business, creating and maintaining wealth. The question of the day that we would like to ask today is, how does one realize that they are financially intelligent? How does one realize that they are financially intelligent? How do you achieve financial intelligence? SMS your number, your comment to 22162, starting with the word news. Starting with the word news to 22162. Remember, financial intelligence is a very vital yet hardly taught in schools. And tonight I will be joined by two panelists. One is Samuel T. Wainaina, who is an author and a financial intelligence expert. And secondly will be Dorcas Matthew, who is a motivational speaker. Let's keep the conversation going on our SMS line, and we shall be doing that discussion after the news bulletin. On to our first story. Now, the year started off with early rains, which will help to boost farm yields and supply, hence cooling down prices, except for tomatoes and onions. Tomatoes and onions have recorded a faster price growth amongst basic household items in the past 1 month, even as others dropped.
A kilo of onion has gone up 167 shillings over the last year's average cost of 118. Tomatoes have gone up 11% to shillings 100 a kilo, making the two items the only foodstuff to record price increase year on, according to Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Cabbages is one of the commodities that recorded the steepest fall by 46% to retail at 41 a kilo, while Irish potatoes dropped 37% to retail at 61 over the past 1 year. Sukuma wiki prices have eased to 3% or 56 shillings a kilo, while the cost of carrots reduced to 58 shillings a kilo. The prolonged drought is, however, being blamed for cutting supplies and triggering the price rally among foodstuff, hurting households. The drop in food prices has eased inflation to 2.19% in March from 3.83%. For Y254 Business, I am Karen Njisa.
On to our next story. 20 new railway stations are set to be opened by the Kenya Railways. This move is made with an aim to boost commuter services within Nairobi in order to decongest the city. This comes at a time when rail transport is once again becoming popular after the launch of the standard gauge railway that ferries passengers between Nairobi and Mombasa.
The Kenyan Railways plans to open at least 20 upgraded and new railway stations on Nairobi routes to increase commuter numbers. New stations will be put in place in areas where trains stop but there are no platforms. Such places include Mwiki and Ruiru. This project, under the Nairobi Commuter Railway Service Development, is funded by the World Bank and the national government and is part of the Nairobi Metropolitan Transport Master Plan, which aims to decongest the city through attracting passengers who use road transport. For Y254 News, my name is Ram Aguko.
Now, the ongoing expansion of the Mariakani-Mombasa Road into a dual carriageway has suffered a setback after two companies associated with former Nyali MP Hezron Awiti obtained an injunction restraining the contractor from entering their land until two suits they have filed against the project are heard and determined.
Harbour agencies and cyber access have separately sued the National Land Commission and the Transport Minister, arguing that the latter have failed to inform the landowners of their intention to acquire part of their land for the road expansion project as required by law. The Attorney General and Third China Engineering, the contractor, are also listed as respondents in the suit. The petitioners accuse the NLC and the Cabinet Secretary for Transport of failing to value portions of the land earmarked for acquisition to facilitate prior compensation as stipulated by the law. Hebel, whose land is valued at 107.1 million shillings, and Cyber, whose parcel is 66.3 million shillings, reckon that in preparing to take a portion of their property without informing them, the NLC and the Transport Minister are acting in breach of the laws of compulsory acquisition of land. The two companies have told the court that they stand to suffer immense loss if the respondents are not stopped from acquiring their property. Harbour, whose half-hectare land is located within Jomvu area, says the targeted plot is fully developed and is not only leased to an export processing zone company for 30 years, but is also charged to a bank for a loan. According to Harbour, the petitioner has the right to be compensated before the government may take the land for public purposes, but this right has been infringed. The companies are seeking a declaration that their rights as enshrined in the Constitution have been and continue to be infringed by the respondents' actions. They want the respondents to be stopped from acquiring the targeted plots, or in the alternative be ordered to pay them a total of 173 million shillings, being the value of the land they intend to acquire for expansion of the highway. The two companies claim the contractors' workmen have already gone to the said properties and marked a huge portion of the land for the roadworks. The NLC has filed a preliminary objection to the petitions, arguing that the Constitutional Court lacks the jurisdiction to hear and determine issues raised in the petition, and the matter falls within the jurisdiction of the Environment and Land Court. The cases have been fixed for hearing on April the 10th. For Y254 Business News, my name is Abdulrazak Ngutia.
Israeli police are in Nairobi to investigate alleged bribery of top Kenyan Transport Ministry officials by an Israeli construction firm in a move that promises to open up the dark deal-making bedrooms where multi-billion shillings road tenders are awarded.
Israeli investigators raiding the company's offices in Kenya and freezing some of its bank accounts. Officials in an inquiry into bribery allegations of top transport ministry officials by the Israeli construction firm to influence award of road tenders in Kenya have widened the scope of their search. The company, which has been one of the largest construction firms in Israel, has been gunning for other projects in Kenya. Shikun and Binui, through its foreign subsidiary Solel Bonai International Holdings, was chosen to build the World Bank-funded Mount Summit Kericho-Kisumu Highway at a cost of 14 billion shillings in 2010. On 28 February, Israel police began questioning former senior managers at Shikun and Binui, who are suspected to having bribed transport officials in Kenya to win the tenders. Yvonne Aniula for Y254 Business News.
Financial intelligence is very vital, yet hardly taught in schools. Many adults end up forging their financial lifestyles upon beliefs that they adopted during childhood. Up to 80% of adults fail to attain their true potential statistically. And while many wish to be rich, they have little or no clue how to go about it. Tonight's discussion is aimed at enlightening viewers on how to make savings, investments, decisions, starting a business, and creating and maintaining wealth. Now, the first question that we'd like to ask with our panel tonight is, what is financial intelligence? This is the question that we are talking about tonight. If I would start with you, Dorcas, what is financial intelligence?
Thank you so much, Ram. Financial intelligence is understanding what you have and what you want to do. Just going into a short meaning of financial intelligence is having control over what you have.
Having control over what you have.
Yes.
And what about you, sir? What do you say? What is financial intelligence?
Thank you, Lam. Financial intelligence is that self-awareness about how to get money and how to manage it. Meaning that if you are a financially intelligent person, then you have full control over your finances. You can you know where to get the money, and you know how to manage it, so such that you are in charge of your finances. You are a master of your finances. You are not a slave.
Yes. A master of your finances, you're not a slave of your finances.
Yes.
A very interesting view right there. Please send us a text to 22162 starting with the word news. 22162 is the number starting with the word news. That we are asking the question, how do you realize that you can be financially intelligent? How do you attain financial intelligence? Let us take a break. We shall be back with this hot discussion in a bit. Stay tuned. Do not go away. This is Y254 News.
Y254. Imagine.
Welcome to Mega Dollar Lottery. To play Mega Dollar is very easy. Go to Lipa na M-Pesa, choose Pay Bill, enter business number 295888, account name Mega, deposit 10 shillings or more, enter your PIN, then choose any 10 numbers between 1 and 80, send to 29588. Draw is after every 4 minutes. You can win thousands of shillings or up to the 30 million shillings jackpot. Deposit, play, win with Mega Dollar.
Kama kawaida, this is
The Buzz.
tuko na vitu noma, interview after interview.
After interview.
Ilichukua time kufika hapo, lakini ilikuwa wapi?
But Maisha just gave me that platform and just, pushed me outside and made my face visible.
You know, when you are born again and you're doing gospel music, it's not just about singing. It's not just about, wimbo kuhit or watu wamefurahia wimbo napatikana kujulikana. It's about winning souls.
Yeah, I mean the music video.
Yeah.
Shout out to the cypher na hip hop culture.
And then watu wengi feel na wa intimidate actually because like uje mana kanaweza piga ngumi, wazeta kuambia kitu wako like why yo, I'm so chilled out, but can you other say hi? Call me Vivian Dagwa.
And I'm Mike Itai, and this right here
is The Buzz.
Y254. Imagine.
Welcome back. This is Y254 News, and tonight we're talking about matters business, matters money. Is all about ensuring that we can be able to save, invest, start a business, create a business, and maintain wealth. And we're asking this question, that how can you realize that you are financially stable? How do you achieve financial intelligence? The way to achieve it is through you helping us to find out, discuss it. 22162 is our number on the SMS line, starting with the word news. Ensure that you send us a text. 22162 is the number starting with the word news. We will surely sample all those messages that you sent to our line in the end of the bulletin. For now, let us go back to my panelists. I have Dorcas Matthew, who is a motivational speaker, and Samuel Wainaina, who is an author and a financial intelligence expert. Welcome once again. We started the discussion and you had mentioned a few solid points here. I had something about slavery and many things here. And let me get into it deeply. How does one realize that they are financially intelligent? How is it possible for you to realize this? If I will start with you, Wainaina.
Yeah, you can tell whether you are financially intelligent depending on how your financial affairs are. For example, if you find yourself that you are really struggling you are always in unmanageable debts, and Mark, you have used unmanageable debts, meaning that the debts are not bad per se. So if you find your financial life is in chaos, and you have not bothered even to invest in trying to acquire the requisite knowledge on how to manage finances, then obviously it means that you have a deficit in terms of financial intelligence. But if you are in control, what we say that when you are financially free, you say that you have financial freedom. You can't achieve financial freedom if you are not financially aware, and that financial awareness is what we are calling a financial intelligence. So if your financial affairs are in chaos, it means that you need to invest more in acquiring financial intelligence.
So the problem here is, once you realize that your finances are not going on in the right direction, you are not intelligent financially.
It means there is something that you are not doing right, and you need to invest in acquiring the know-how so that you can improve. Yes.
Dorcas, is financial intelligence about the mind, or is it about the status of your wealth?
Wow, thank you so much, Ram. You might be in a better status as compared to others, or you might be in the best status, as people would refer you. But I believe it's a state of mind accompanied by the knowledge you have. I might set my mind that I am financially, or we can say I'm intelligent, but in real sense I am not. So it is combined, not only mind, but also knowledge, and also get to understand how you yourself view yourself as a person.
Awayana, is it about the mind, or is it about the status of your wealth? Because most people say, by the way, that success is weighed in terms of how much money you have in the bank account.
Everything starts in the mind. So there are people who are very wealthy, and they may not have gone to school. And I like the introduction that you made, that this issue of financial intelligence is not taught in school. We are not taught financial matters in school, and we know everybody's life, whether you are a president, whether you are a street family, whether you are a farmer in Nyandarua County or Kisumu, everything revolves around money. Whether you are doing charity work, whether you are spreading the good news, the gospel, whether you are a Muslim, regardless of your religion, if a human life revolves around money, because money is a facilitator, is a means of facilitating human interaction, promoting commerce at the industry. And those people may not have gone to school, but they know how to manage money. So financial intelligence is not about academic papers. No. It's about being aware of how do you make money and how do you manage that money, and that has nothing to do with your degrees, your MBAs or anything. No.
So you cannot go to school to be financially intelligent. We have people who are doing masters in business. We have CPAs.
Yes.
You cannot go to school to get that. So the question is then, how does a person go about to acquire financial intelligence? How do you do it?
Wow, thank you so much. I believe for one to acquire financial intelligence, as he said, and as I've also said, that you start with your mind also. Get to know what do you really want. Then, for you to get to a point of calling yourself you're financially intelligent, you must be able to have the knowledge. For example, you must be able to know what you want. Secondly, get to know where you're going to get the source of information. Who are you talking to? Who is your mentor? Who is your friend? Which group do you work with? Therefore, you're going to get, you reflect an average of who you work with.
Wonderful.
Yes.
We are receiving a text message from our SMS line. Remember, 22162 is the number. 22162 is the number on our SMS line. If I could just sample out one message, we have a message from a number ending with 901. The message is, for one to achieve financial intelligence, she should have a plan on how to achieve your financial goals. Differentiate between necessities and non-necessities and focus on long-term sources of income. That is Reggie. Thank you, Reggie, for your comment. Keep the text coming in, keep the comments coming in. 22162 is our number. SMS us, starting with the word news, and we will continue with sampling them out as we continue the discussion. Now, Y9, you are an author of a book, and I have you brought a book here with me. If I would mention one, because you have authored 4.
Yes.
4. If you could just outline them, the 4 of them, are they business oriented, all of them?
One is business oriented, and 2 of them are inspirational.
Wow.
And one of them is very unique. Is about the art of winning election. So briefly, the first title is a 52-week Power of Conversations for Self-Transformation. It is a book that covers a whole year. So you can just take one chapter in a week, meditate about it, because at the end of every chapter there are some questions for reflection. The second book is The Art of Winning Election, released in 2017 as my contribution to promoting decency in our election process. And this book is not just for political office, is for any seeker of an elective position, be it in a chama, in a church, the presidency of a school, LSK,
any sort of election.
Yes, in form of a competitive election. The third one is My Excuses, The Barriers to Dreams and Success. It's an inspirational book.
Wow.
And the fourth one is How to Start and grow a profitable business.
Now
the one that you are holding.
This is the one that I'm holding.
Yes.
If I could have one camera that would give this shot, we have how to start and grow a profitable business is a book that you have. We shall post this on social media. So make sure that you stay tuned on Y254 platforms on social media at Y254. This book, How to Start and Grow a Profitable Business.
Yes.
With the mind of a normal common mananchi, because we're talking about the youths. Youths are looking for employment. Youths are looking for ways to ensure that they are stable. You don't want to get to the age of retirement and you lack money.
Yes.
How do you ensure that you start and grow a profitable business when you still do not have that financial intelligence level?
That's the crux of the matter. As a people, we've gotten it wrong. We think that to address unemployment, everybody should start a business. And that's why we have Women Enterprise Fund, Youth Enterprise Fund, Ways of Fund, name it. All those government initiatives, and even the county governments have started doing that. But having worked as a chief executive of Women Enterprise Fund for 6 years, we discovered very early at the initial stages of the fund that you couldn't just give women money to start enterprises without the know-how. And that's why many businesses fail. Just imagine, Ram, for once, that your parents love you so much, or your girlfriend decides to gift you during your birthday with a brand new car.
Hallelujah.
And may it come to pass. And then you are given the keys, and you've not been to a driving school. Can you really drive that car?
No.
But we think that by giving the youth interest-free money without asking for collateral, without enlightening them, creating what we are talking financial intelligence, that they are going to manage that. No wonder the failure rate is so high. That's why that book takes you through the journey of where do you get a business idea? Because everything starts with an idea. Then after you've gotten an idea, how do you register that? majority of our businesses in this country are not registered. And I know, Lam, have you ever come across a human being without a name?
Hold that
so
thought.
when you create a business, give it a name. Have
Wonderful.
it registered. Now, after you register, so that book takes you through that emotion, and like other books in the market, it also has a chapter on business etiquette. You find that there are people who have made it in business, but they don't know how to behave like millionaires.
Wonderful. If I will come to you, he has mentioned something about women.
Yes.
Now, what is the status of women in the society? As a lady, if you will speak for the female gender in this country, we realize that when you're talking about financial intelligence, are women taking part in businesses as they ought to be? Let's talk about housewives. What should they be doing? Are women taking part in businesses? What do you say?
Okay. We have a large percentage being women in Kenya, and very few are involved in terms of business, in terms of financial matters.
Very few?
Yes, very few.
Oh.
Sometimes it's because of lack of support. I, as Dorcas, if I'm married to a person who does not have a dream, who does not support my dream, how will I achieve it? So you have asked a question, whether we have the status of women in the society or in business. We have very few, and those who are few have excelled if they have the support.
It's all about the support.
The support, because, for example, if I start a business today, you expect me to get to the house, do the services in the house. I need someone who can help me in making decisions. For example, I thank so much the Women Enterprises Fund or the women supporters, because if I need the know-how, as he said, they are there to offer. So I believe even in marriage, those who are married must be supported. It is a must anyway, because I can't struggle while you're not backing me up. How will I grow?
Wow.
How will I grow?
Wow.
And I think even having an opportunity that we have government recognizing women and giving opportunities to women, we need that information being laid to Kenyans. Very few know about the opportunities. For example, even for the youths, very few youths know that we have funds for the youths and know the requirements. So those who have the knowledge are benefiting more.
Those who have the knowledge are benefiting more than those
More than those who don't have. Why? We are less privileged because of lack of knowledge. Ignorance is very expensive.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
It brings to a matter of the girl child, whether the girl child is being empowered or not. But that's a discussion for another day.
All right.
We are out of time. A final word. Is it possible to save and invest at the same time for you to start a business and for you to ensure that you maintain your wealth? Is it possible to save and invest? A final word from you, Wainani.
Yeah, when you have an income from whatever source, there are two things that you can do with that income. You can decide to consume the whole of it, meaning that savings will be zero. When we were studying economics 101, we were taught that income is equal to consumption plus savings. So if you consume everything, you'll have zero savings, you'll have nothing to invest.
I do agree with that, though.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I also did it's called Eco 101.
Oh,
a
right.
first year course.
Meaning that for investments to take place, there must be some savings.
Wonderful.
And we say that investment is a function of savings. So for us as a people, to be good in investments, so that we can develop our families, we can develop our country, we must cultivate good savings habit. Because it is from savings that you can do investment, and you cannot be good in savings if you don't have good money manners, what we are calling financial intelligence. because the challenge we have, especially for the youth, because we are addressing this a youth station. Youth don't have the patience. They think, you want to tell me to invest and wait for 5 years? No. Self-gratification. People don't want to delay that consumption, because savings is deferred consumption. So you say, I'm not going to buy this suit today so that I can save money to buy shares in KCB or Equity Bank. Wonderful. So that when I'm going to the university, I'll sell those shares to pay my university fees. So I would call upon the Kenyan youth to have that self-discipline. Think about it tomorrow. Don't consume everything.
Wonderful. A final word from you, Dorcas. Is it possible to save and invest at the same time? How can we ensure that we have a very wealthy business?
Well, thank you. It is very much possible, and if everything is possible on this earth,
everything is possible.
It's very possible, because even if I save 100 shillings and invest another 100 shillings, I call myself a balanced person. But then my word for the investors: you might invest, but you're not an investor. You just deposit money, you just buy policies, you just do whatever you do, but you're not an investor. So my advice is, don't save and invest blindly. Have the knowledge, the intelligence for you to save and invest. So you can do both anyway, but don't do it blindly. Yes.
A very powerful word. A very powerful panel. Thank you very much for coming. I would like to wind down the show. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for the opportunity.
This has been Y254 Business News. It has been Business Tuesday with me. I have been proud to host a wonderful panel of Dorcas Matthew, who is a motivational speaker, and Samuel Wainaina, who is an author and financial intelligence expert. I'd like to wind up the show by saying that it has been well. On behalf of everyone who ensured that today's bulletin was a success, we would like to wish you a good night. Thanks to each and every person that ensured that everything was in place. My name is Ram Aguko. Keep the conversation going on 22162, our SMS line 22162, starting with the word news. See you next week. My name is Ram Aguko. This is Y254 News.